welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle with the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
A very good morning to you and welcome to the weekend edition of Global Morning here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. From sport to politics, through to entertainment and back to technology, all over the country have witnessed significant improvement and also conversation that has sprung forth from those various conversations around the country. Is it from the southern geopolitical zone or to the southwest geopolitical zone, or it is the southeast geopolitical zone, or the northwest, northeast and north central put together? Conversations keep evolving and keep springing forth from all of this angle. But then we'll begin today on a very, very interesting note, which we will say first, it's a post-workers day celebration, and of course it is one time again for us to tell all workers that are also relaxing and celebrating their week today, which happens to be May the 3rd, to say again happy workers week to all workers out there, especially everyone that is carrying out genuine course of transactions, that is carrying out legal means of doing a business, that is carrying out, that's going about their business lawfully, and of course keeping faith alive. Well, quite a number of conversation to look at this morning, but let's even talk about first that the president is already in Katsina State. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in Katsina State, where he went to also commission some projects in the state. Quite interesting. And of course, the president did not just stop there. The president also went to see the troops to encourage the troops without any form of entourage. The president went there and promised them better welfare. Well, it was a bold move, it was a bold step by the president, and he went there unannounced to visit Nigerian troops on the front line of Operation Fansa Yama in Katsina State without usual high-ranking military entourage. Why did the president do that? Well, we don't know. Perhaps it's for security reasons or just to take the troop by surprise. But of course, that visit is to boost the morale of the troop. Well, and the president continued by saying that Nigeria depends on the troop, and that's why he was with them yesterday. Of course, that alone, that statement saying that Nigeria depends on them, it shows a lot of conversations. First is that what that tells Nigerian troop is that Nigerians are relying on you. We are also keeping faith on you and believing that you'll be able to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. I didn't stop there. He said, I am also with you and I will guarantee your welfare. Just stay focused. Well, what a way to end the week for the Nigerian military hearing such words. He said, your welfare is my top priority. We are not only equipping you to defend Nigeria, we are determined to ensure your dignity is upheld, your families are supported, and your future is secured. That's coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Katsina State, where he is commissioning quite a number of projects. He is officially on a 2 days working visit to that state to commission quite a number of projects in the state. But let's move away from that conversation and move straight to a conversation that is making the rounds. Just yesterday, we played a video that showed a dance president in the person of one Atiku Issa that came out to say that he was brutalized by the son of the president. Well, we'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you that video that will bring you back to this conversation. Please stay with us as Global Morning continues after this short break. All right, welcome back from that short break. All right, before we went on that break, I told you that we had a video that yesterday that was circulating and making the rounds across most media platforms. Of course, the former president, the former governor of Kaduna State in the person of Nasir El-Rufai also came out with a video to show, with a picture rather, to support the claim of Atiku in that particular video. But let's listen to Atiku, then we come back to the leadership tussle even in Nans. Let's watch this video.
I was invited to Lagos to meet with Sheyi. I met with Sheyi and the Minister for Youth. The Minister for Youth, when he saw me, he hugged me in Lagos. We talked, and I was to be offered 100 million naira. But the thing is, it's not all about money. There are things which I stand for. You cannot ask me to begin to promote a president who has not done something for me to say he has done it. If he does something good, I will promote him. We will support him as the president and commander-in-chief. But where he is, you cannot say I should keep quiet. I won't do that. That we couldn't settle. And they felt that I'm being stubborn not to accept money and to come to Lagos without accepting money and going back. So they planned my abduction, and on the 15th, I was abducted. Of April, I was abducted, stripped naked, beaten seriously in collaboration with the MD of NTA. The MD of NTA, I was packaged to NTA to make involuntary statement that I am no longer, that I have renounced my position as NANS president. I did that to gain my freedom, but immediately I released a press statement that I was forced, it was under duress, and because I was naked, I was beaten. They claimed that they will share the video. That Sheyi told them that they can share the video, nothing will happen. And that even if they kill me, he will order. That was the word Ladoja used. It is Ladoja that is telling me this. That he will instruct, yes, he will instruct the Inspector General of Police to cover it up. And if he doesn't do that, that he will go. So I now ask, even this morning when somebody was telling me that you know who Sheyi is, I say, yes, Sheyi is an ordinary citizen like myself. He's not occupying any official position. I told them yesterday, I made it clear, that even if I'm coming to this hall and I'll be short, I'll still come to this hall. At the end, today, the inauguration is concluded and I'm the NANS president. I want Nigerians to know what has happened and that we are not going to give up and that Sheyi can do anything he wants to do. He's already in this hotel. This inauguration wouldn't have held. You can see the organization is not correct. See the way the things was hardly done. Told the MC, quickly start. Don't do no protocol. Do the inauguration as long as though they will be arresting or killing the NANS president now, who controls over 40 million Aluta forces. So I want to, for the want of time, I don't want to take much of our time, but I have told you in brief. So we cannot say, the most important thing which my government, which we want to do as leaders of NANS, is that we will fight the cultists. We will take away cultism from NANS, the touts from NANS. They are just a bunch of touts and criminal elements. When politicians want to do anything, they recruit them to do all of these things, and that is what we have come to fight. I need your support for us to be able to do this, because without you supporting me, supporting our leadership, there's no way we'll be able to achieve this, because these people have gone far. They have no shame. I want to say, finally, that Sheyi Tinubu is a very bad example to the Nigerian youths. And the worst thing that will happen to Nigeria will be for Sheyi Tinubu to become the governor of Lagos State. He has no shame. He has no character. I have been strapped naked. He has my video in his phone. If we are in a country where things work, they are supposed to trace that in his phone, and he should be prosecuted. I do not know if, what he wants to do with my naked video in his phone. It is also in the phone of the senior special assistant to the president on student affairs. The secretary, while we went to submit a letter to the Minister of Defense, the essay to the Minister of Defense told him that he saw my naked video while they were beating me, that is also in his own phone. This is the country that we are, but they are making a mistake with the wrong person. The honest solution to this for them to do the right thing, or they should quickly terminate my life. I thank you very much for listening, Your Excellency.
All right, welcome back from that break. Let's look into the issues. Well, the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students have disclaimed an individual allegedly parading himself as the president of the association, describing him as illegitimate, misleading, and politically sponsored. Well, the association went up to say that its consistent attack on individuals in government, particularly Mr. Sheyi Tinubu, the Honorable Minister of Youth, and other respected public officials, are nothing but a calculated attempt to exploit the current political landscape for personal popularity and financial reward. So one must ask, how is it possible for someone to claim to be NANS president and yet walk alone without any ESCO, without any zonal, state or institutional SUG structure supporting him? Well, that's where NANS have come out to say. NANS have also maintained that we want to clearly state that Mr. Atiku is in no way the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students. The legitimate and duly elected president of NANS, representing Nigerian students' populace, is Comrade Olushola Oladoja. It added. It's deeply concerned. NANS went all and all, but then we begin to ask salient questions, and like questions that are begging for answers, like we do here every weekday. We try to find answers to some of those questions that have been raised and been asked. And the first questions we are asking, the first question on our list is, if at this point a certain individual, a person of Abubakar Atiku is coming out to say that, hey, I'm NANS president. How did he emerge as NANS president? That's on one hand. How did he emerge as NANS president? Was there an election that was carried out? Do we have a factional leadership even in NANS as it stands right now? So NANS should bring us up to speed on some of this happening across the country. Let's know what's going on even within the ambience of NANS. Within the circle of NANS, which is the National Association of Nigerian Students, we're trying to get them to talk to us right now, but it's not. It's proving abortive. But then we promise to get that conversation going, because we need to know what is the concern of the son of the president when it has to do with NAN's activities. Well, a factional president of the NANS Association of Nigeria has accused President Bola Tinubu's son Sheyi of interference in the affairs of the association. Now, how through is this? Because what we've read from one hand, that Abubakar is a factional president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, and as such, because President Tinubu's son Sheyi Tinubu wants the other side to be on seat for whatever reason, at least side of Ladoja, and it's trying to. We don't know. We don't have the complete report on this, so I'm being careful not to be speculative about some of these things. But we hope that NANS will come out to talk to us, because this factional leadership of NANS started on Tuesday when it got to the media light, and there was a factional leadership of NANS on Tuesday, and this video was the video we just finished watching was released on Wednesday night, and we don't know the full, we don't have the full details, and neither is NANS coming out to say what's going on. Do we have a factional leadership in NANS right now? And if we do, have NANS become another political party? Yes. Has NANS become a political party? If yes to that, is it registered, or as a registered political party, or is just a registered association in Nigeria? All of this conversation we need to have here on A Global Morning, but so unfortunate that we can't bring you that conversation because the NANS person that's supposed to connect with us from NANS is not currently coming up, but we'll see what we can do around that before the show comes to an end. But we have a lot of questions. Nigerians want to know. Nigerians want to hear from NANS what is going on, what is the update, and so that we can stay abreast and know that this is what it is. But you won't deny the fact that there was an inauguration of this the executives under the chairmanship of retired Honorable Amechi or so. But we saw a flyer that says that there was an inauguration, the Council of NANS, the President of National Association of Nigerian Students. There was a flyer that inaugurated Atiku Abubakar Isa on behalf of the National Executive and entire student body and stakeholders of the association. We saw there was an inauguration banner that was printed, and it carried quite a few politicians on that flyer. Could it be that the various political tension in Nigeria has surreptitiously found its way in NANS? I wish we could have that picture on the screen where you see the banner of NANS inauguration. There was no inauguration that brought in Isa Abubakar. There was no election that brought in Isa Abubakar. If Isa Abubakar is not the focal person, is not the president of NANS, how come that the Nigerian Student Association have not come out to protest or distance itself from Isa's as it stands right now? But having said that, let's look at the other side of the conversation, which has to do with the fundamental human right as enshrined in Chapter 4, Section 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 through to 45 of the Nigerian Constitution. We look at all of those provisions of the Constitution. Now, that Section 35, Section 33 has to do with right to life. 35, 33, 34 has to do with life to human dignity. Now, we want to ask, I'm not a lawyer, but I hope I'm correct with that section right now. That has to do with human dignity. Now, let's look at what El-Rufai, the picture that was posted on El-Rufai's, Nasir El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, on his official X handle. The picture that was posted by El-Rufai saw this young man known as Abubakar Atiku Isa being brutalized and being hit. And Atiku, he came out to say that he was naked and he was threatened that his pictures will be made to circulate across board. Now, first, he was recognized by the when they went to lodge a complaint, according to what the statement we just heard, that they told him that his nakedness, his video, they saw his naked video somewhere, and they've been threatened. He's been threatened that those videos will be released anytime soon. Now, if that is anything to go by with, and what Nasir El-Rufai has posted on social media, doesn't this also say that at this point in time, Nasir and Abubakar Issa is being dehumanized, has been undignified, he has been brutalized, and this is not a fair treatment as far as the fundamental human rights are concerned. Why are the security agencies, even if we say that it is not the official NANS president, is not the focal person for NANS, is not recognized as the president of NANS, but an evil has been carried out? And I, for one, should think that NANS should at this point begin to talk about one of theirs has been brutalized, whether he is correct or not correct. He has been brutalized, he has been injured, he has been inflicted pains. Like NANS will always say that injury to one is injury to all. Now, but then we see a statement coming out from the other faction, on the other side, as it stands right now, from NANS, that has come out to disagree that he is not the president, that Ladoja is the president. But looking at all of this, shouldn't NANS be talking about rather putting his house in order and coming out to challenge the cause of who brutalized a Nigerian student before talking about who is occupying which office? If we can say that he's a Nigerian student, one should expect from all quarters right now, from all SUGs, from all Senates, from all JCC, which is a campus joint campus commission of the NANS body, from zone A through to zone B, and all the zones of NANS should come out and openly condemn. But we've not heard NANS come out to say that a violent or a dehumanizing weapon that is being used on a Nigerian student to inflict pain on him. It's an injury to all Nigerian students across board, regardless of if he is the president. We've not heard from NANS. I we've not heard from security agencies also. I believe that this will not be swept under the carpet, because we will have to look into this the other way, look into it and follow the investigation through and know what's going on, and bring you and all our viewers across the world follow-up stories on what has happened so far, what is still happening within that space. We promise and we guarantee you on that particular one that will bring you up to speed on the various happenings. The issues keep unfolding on a daily basis. We'll keep track of it, and we'll be bringing you all of those conversations going on in NANS. All right, so now let's move on to something else this morning, and that is the issues around the minimum wage. Now, prior to this time, we understand that before the May 1st election, May 1st, I beg your pardon, before May Day, which is popularly known as Workers' Day, we've had a lot of promises by past and present government that they will ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians, that they will improve on the living standard of Nigeria, that your take home should be able to take you home across board. But year in, year out, we've seen most politicians have embellished themselves with gorgeous metaphors and rhetorics and theatrics that hardly dilute the pictures that is being created by the ambivalent speeches and non-fulfillment of promises. And this is not particular to any government or any administration. It has been there for a very long while. Someone said that it's almost as old as Nigeria itself, where politicians come out to also. Now, before I go into this NANS, or before I go to the, permit me to bring in this, where Sheyi Tinubu denies ever meeting NANS president. Atiku Issa denounces assault allegation as fictional. Sheyi Tinubu, son of the president Ahmed Bola Tinubu, has denied ever discussing with Atiku Abubakar Issa, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. He also dismissed claim that he led talks to attack Atiku's faction during a recent NANS event. Well, in a statement on his Instagram page on Friday, which was just yesterday, Sheyi Tinubu said he had never knowingly met Comrade Atiku Issa. I've never held a meeting to discuss any subject matter with Comrade Issa in Lagos or anywhere else in the world. I have never knowingly met him before, neither did I visit any location with talks. These allegations by Atiku are completely fictional. Well, that I wanted to just bring that in so that we create a balance. Recall that I just told you that NANS have come out to speak up, and Sheyi Tinubu, also the son of the president, have come out to say he has never met Atiku, and Atiku have come out to say that the president's son did all of the AYZ on him. Well, we'll see how that plays. I will promise to keep you and bring you up to speed on whatever our findings are on that particular matter. But let's return back to the issue of minimum wage. Now, I told you earlier before that government in, government out have promised to provide succor to the Nigerian workers and provide better working conditions for Nigerian workers. But to a very large extent, we've not seen that, even though we've had various reforms across the country. We've had various reforms in terms of administrative reforms, local government reforms, and all of the reforms that we've had in the country. But we've not seen an improved standard of living, apart from what President Bola Tinubu did recently, that moved the minimum wage to 70,000 naira, and that came at the heel of series of meetings and conversation with Nigerian Labour Congress. Now, finally, it was implemented, and that of the National Youth Service Corps have also been able, corps members have been able to enjoy this benefit across board. Now, that is kudos to President Bola Tinubu. We can't take that from him. But let's look at the various governors right now. Recall one significant thing in all they made this speech to workers, even from the presidency, was promise of better welfare across board. Now, you see governor of Imo State, governor of Akwa Ibom State, governor of Abia State, governor of Osun, and the rest of all the governors across Nigeria came out and they were speaking, promising better welfare for Nigerian workers. But one thing that we did not see in all of this conversation is a time frame for the implementation of some of the welfare packages that has been introduced. Of course, Okpebolo, the governor of Lucky Okpebolo of Edo State, promised even increased the minimum wage of workers in the state. Somebody said that how much is Edo State generating at the moment? If increment in the workers' wages, won't it affect the state? Well, we don't know how the governor intends to do all of that. We're not the mouthpiece of the governor, but then we'll see how that plays out. But one thing that struck me in all of the speeches that I've been going through since May Day is there is no time frame to when the workers' packages will be delivered. Can we say the workers' packages will be delivered on or before December? Better remunerations, better welfare, better package, and better as enshrined in the labor laws of Nigeria. Is there a time frame for this implementation? We hope that the governors will come out to speak to us about some of the modalities that have been put in place to ensure that we be able to track them and follow them, hold them to their words, and track them and also keep track of what they've said by a time frame. So we know that if workers' welfare in Nigeria has not improved, given the time frame that has been given, we can hold them responsible. Of course, we are the citizens and we elect them into public offices. They are accountable to us. So we should be able to hold them to their words. Well, we'll go for a short break right now. When we come back, more to talk, even on the other side of the newspaper review. Please stay with us as Global Morning continues in a moment.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
disbursing upkeep of 20,000 naira.
Know that you cannot talk about a healthy nation if you don't have means to produce your own in addition to importing.
The CG is the principal actor of this because it's within her jurisdiction. Minister is a supervisor.
that we must run in accordance with the Constitution of CAN, where you have just a single time.
The human factor, you have the infrastructural factor, then you have the mechanical factors.
The Senate, with all due respect, they were so hasty in passing that judgment.
The statement I'm about to make is we're not even aware.
That is the future.
You have to be aware before you can begin to be prepared.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back. And just in case you just joined us, this is still Global Morning on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Godwin Sunday. Well, let's go straight to the newspaper this morning. We'll begin with the Vanguard, Saturday's Vanguard newspaper. Now, above the nameplate here, we have Tinubu not running Yoruba government, Afenifere declares. It comes with a rider warns against the plots to also destabilize the government. Okay, Scrutu once again plots to Scrutu for second term ambition. Well, that's coming from the Vanguard, the newspaper this morning. That's Saturday Vanguard. State of emergency. Rivers women stage walkout on Iba's wife. Call for Fubara's return. Now, all right, that's in Rivers State. 2027, why Tinubu Atiku shouldn't run. Baba Ahmed have come out to speak. Now, below the nameplate here, we have a story here that says, killings. State of emergency looms in Benue. Zamfara. House of Reps summons the two governors, their assembly leaders, to explain why they should not be sacked. All right. Whatever that means. All right, moving on, health side of the Vanguard. Study links fatal heart disease to common household plastics. Scientists discover why waistlines expand in middle age. We can find all of those reading page 22. Quite an interesting read, though. Delta APC leadership. How Tinubu stopped Obarewori Omoagege's fight. You can find that on page 10. Remember what Uduahan said after joining APC and returning to PDP? Elder Ima Ogidi, South PDP boss, reminds Deltans. Well, you can also find a picture there of Mercy AK, the former BBC Big Brother Naija winner. She's also on the screen. What's she doing? We don't know. You can go out there and get yourself a copy. Special report. Remi versus others. You could go out there and get yourself a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's move straight to the Weekend Thrust newspaper. The Weekend Thrust newspaper is next paper. Now, it comes with a story here that says Prince Adeyemi Aderigbigbe meets the luckiest man in the world. Prince Adeyemi Aderigbigbe meets the luckiest man in the world. Well, you can go out there and get yourself a copy. Find that on page 11. FBI DEA to release Tinubu reports schedule in 90 days. Is Nigerian drifting to one-party states? Well, you find a picture of that on the screen right now. Outlet 2 conflict cost headers over 300 million naira in 2 months. Okay, 150 comes to the rider here that say 155 cows killed, 206 rustled. You can find all of that read on the Weekend Trust newspaper. Let's go straight to the Nation's newspaper this morning. Fresh troubles for PDP as counts. Okay, I beg your pardon. Let me do that again. Fresh trouble for PDP as defection fever hits BOT. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. Well, you can find all of that read on page 4 of the newspaper. Of course, it comes with 2 riders. Senator Effiong Bob. Others conclude plans to join APC. Akwa Ibom governor predecessors may follow suit. Speaking of Pablo Udomo Emmanuel or the likes of Obong Victor Atta, we don't know which governor of Akwa Ibom it is, but you can go out there and get yourself a copy of the Nation's newspaper to know who is joining. Count us out of your coalition. LP NEC tells Atiku. El Rufai set up panel to probe OT orders over anti-party activities. The Star story here says Tinubu, Nigeria will not bow to fear. Terror. Comes with 3 riders. President on page 4 of the Nation's newspaper. Court sentences BRT driver to death for rape, murder of female passengers. Well, I would have given a brief background to this, but for want of time, we won't be able to do that. You see a picture of President Bola Tinubu in Katsina State. Natasha, activists clash over Akpabio's sexual harassment. Well, you need to go out and get yourself a copy of the Nation's newspaper to know what the clash is all about. IPOB, found with Nnamdi Kanu during the 20th. Well, we hope that the government and metal will be business. And we can tell our Facebook
WhatsApp and other devices. But let's move straight to this day to 15.23 in 20. Trump's end Chinese tariff loophole, raising cost of online goods. Well, interesting. The tariff war by Donald Trump. Oti, I have no reason to dump Labour Party. Everybody mustn't be in APC. It comes with 3 riders there, but for want of time, we won't be able to go through those riders. Now, there's another story here that says Tinubu in Castina charges security agencies to root out insurgency, foreign collaborators. Quite an interesting one, and you find a picture of the president in Castina doing his official function. Now, lastly for today, the last paper we're taking is the Guardian Weekend, the Guardian newspaper, where we have here just above the nameplate, World Press Freedom Day 2025, navigating convergence between AI journalism ethics. Well, you can find out those read on page 4. WPFD, why are leaders afraid of press freedom? Well, you can go out there to get yourself a copy to understand what it is. Now, Spotlight, amid royal accolades in Ile-Ife, Oyeweso's new books provoke thought, preserve heritage. Below the nameplate here, we have a star story that says, empty plate, bleak future, malnutrition destroying northern Nigeria. It's how correct is this assertion? Well, you can go out there and get yourself a copy of the Guardian Weekend newspaper to stay abreast with that report. Nigerian records 3 MPOS-related deaths, 136 confirmed cases. All of that story you can find on the health side of the Guardian newspaper. Malik Kyari, 13 other NNPC former serving officials under investigation, EFCC has confirmed. You can find that story on page 37. Afenifere cautions against ethnic tax, rhetorics on Tinubu's administration. You can find that story on page 36 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's it on the newspaper review segment of the Global Morning this morning. You go out there and get yourself a copy of the various papers and stay abreast with happenings across the country. And unfortunately, that's how far we can go this morning on Global Morning, the weekend edition. Don't forget the Global Morning returns to you again same time tomorrow and every other weekday. My name is Godwin Sunday. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. From all of us here on the Global Morning crew, it's bye for now.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies for sure. If you don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted with
22.2% inflation rate as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
We struggled as a strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.